and welcome to Vision Insights. So today we'll be starting with a revisionary series of management. So I'll be discussing various topics of management with the help of MCQs. So today is a first set, and I have decided that we will be starting with planning today. So I'll be discussing around 25 MCQs on planning, and obviously this will be helpful to everyone who are giving examinations, both for the purpose of academics as well as for competitive exams. Management is that wonderful subject which is there in almost everywhere. In every domain, you will find management, be it engineering or be it commerce. Obviously, we commerce people have it in our blood, the management. We can say that. So, but yeah, management is also really an interesting subject to discuss. So I'll be discussing management with the help of MCQs. So obviously, this for the focus of this video is students of graduation, post graduations, and also the students who are preparing for competitive exams and other exams, where you have the subject as a management in your course. So hopefully, this will be helpful to all. So now we will be starting and we'll be discussing the MCQs. And I would request all the viewers who are watching this, please take a pen and paper with your side, and you also try to first mark the correct answer, and then I'll be discussing the answers and also a brief explanation simultaneously. So it will be a very good thing. So after that, you can share the score which you have scored in the comment section below. So I'll be expecting that all the viewers will be sharing their scores with me. So let's begin the test then, or we can say that let's begin and let's analyze that how much we know about management. Though people say that management is really easy to understand and we can score very good marks in management, but when it comes to MCQs, management can become a little bit confusing sometimes, right? So we should understand the concept properly, and therefore we will be able to solve any question which comes in our way. So I'm excited and hope everyone are excited to start with the management MCQs, and we are starting with planning today. So hopefully all the people who are watching it, they'll be answering all the questions, and that too correct. And I want your scores in the comment section. So please give your responses. Your responses give us the motivation to continue with this series. That is the series on management, where we'll be discussing and revising the core concepts, as well as we'll be discussing the MCQs for the topic wise. So let's start then. The first question, planning is. I'll be taking the MCQs with the options as well. So the first option is, and for your help, I have also given the answers here. But let's first discuss it, and you can also analyze your answers, right? So planning is A, looking ahead, looking back, guiding people, delegation of authority. What is planning? Planning is basically looking ahead. We plan for obviously future. So one of the features of planning is futuristic in nature. So planning is looking ahead. And I would say that a bonus question for you all. So that is, control is what? Control is looking ahead, looking back, guiding people, controlling people. So what is the option? You can give your answer in the comment section. Control is forward, looking means looking ahead, looking back, controlling people or guiding people. What is it? The correct answer is controlling is looking back. So we look back at what we had done, planned out, and then whether it is executed properly, and if there are any variances, we will be calculating the variances, ascertaining it, and then we will try to modify our strategy or plan, and then we'll moving to the further action. So while planning is looking ahead, control is looking back. Now moving to second question. Planning and forecasting are same, different, synonymous? None of these. Planning and forecasting is same, different, synonymous? None of these. Planning and forecasting are different. Obviously, forecasting is a part of planning, but planning is much more brighter, I would say, wider concept than forecasting. Forecasting is included in planning. Planning, next question. Planning is an intellectual process, an important function, important for the management, none of these. Planning is an intellectual process. Obviously, a lot of brains are required, and not a brain of one person, I would say. Brain of many top level management is required. Many experts are also required when they discuss and when they plan for the future, right? And it's really difficult to also plan for future when there is a dynamic environment which we face in the obviously the business environment is dynamic in nature. So planning is an intellectual process. So we need expert or we need a top level management team who will plan. Planning, next question. Planning is the last function of management. Planning is middle function of management. First function of management, none of these. This is the most easiest question, people. You cannot be wrong over here. Planning is the first function of management. We learned the acronym, right? For pod scopes. So P for planning, O for organizing, D for directing, staffing, controlling, reporting, and budgeting. So here, planning is the first function of management. So that's why we have also started our MCQ series with planning. And if this series gets successful, I'll be coming with other videos on other functions of management as well. So I want this video to be spread as much as possible, and it should be helpful to all who are in need of it, right? And this is the work of all my viewers. Please do so. Now, the next question. Planning is essential for controlling activities, A, achieving organizational goals, B, coordinating activities, C, none of these. Planning is essential for controlling activities, achieving organizational goals, coordinating activities, none of these. Planning is essential for achieving organizational objectives. So first, before planning or organizing organizational goals, so first the planning process begins. Before that, the objectives or goals must be clear, right? And then only we will be able to make the plans accordingly, that how we'll reach that goal or how that objective can be achieved. So answer is achieving organizational goals. Next question. Policies provide guidance for A, controlling activities, B, controlling, C, decision making, and D, organizing. So plan policies provide guidance for controlling activities, controlling, decision making, organizing. Policies provide guidance for decision making. So whenever the company is there, so a lot of policies are by statutory act we need to make, like the related party transaction policy or dividend policy of the company. By act or by statute means by companies act norms or other regulatory requirements are there. So we need to make the policy for related party transaction, how it will be done, how the approval will be taken of the audit committee, right? And so there's policies there, guidelines are there, predetermined, and policy helps in decision making. So policy provide guidance for decision making. Answer is decision making. Next question. Procedure is guide to A. Thinking, taking action, C. Decision making, implementing decisions. So, procedure is a guide to thinking, taking action, decision making, implementing decision. So, procedure is a guide to taking action. So, procedure are the steps given. So, how to take the action? Suppose how to make tea. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. It's been given. So, you need to follow it. So, you have to take action. So, taking action is the correct answer. Next question. Strategy is planned to A. Determining uh, long term objectives, provide guidance, evaluate policies, implementing decisions. Strategy is planned to determining long term objectives, provide guidance, evaluate policies, implementing decisions. Strategy is planned to determining the long term objectives. For long term objectives determination, we use strategy. Objectives are prerequisite for A. Organizing, B. Planning, C. Motivating, D. Or directing. So I've discussed that earlier also. That first objective is a prerequisite of planning. Which of the following is not an element of planning? A. Program, B. Policy, C. Information, D. Procedure. So which is not the element of planning? We know that program constitutes planning, policy is also there, procedure is there, but information is the odd one out. So answer is information. Short range planning is for A. 2 years, 3 years, 1 year, less than 1 year. Short range planning is basically of 1 year. Answer is 1 year. The general statements or understanding the guide in planning and decision making is called the general statement or understanding the guide in planning and decision making is A. Programs, B. Policies, C. Procedure, D. Structure. Answer is policy. So policy is understanding of a guideline. It's a kind of a guidelines wherein planning and decision making can be made with the help of that guidelines. Predetermined some rules are there or some guideline is there to follow in certain situation. So answer is policy. Which is the basic function of management in respect of future management action? So basic function of management is which one? Controlling, organizing, directing, planning. Obviously the basic function is planning. So for future management purpose we require planning. Which is not fixed plan under the following? So which is not a fixed plan? Rules, policy, working procedure, budget. Which is not a fixed plan? Rules are fixed, policy is also fixed, working procedure means the guidelines I would say are fixed. You need to do one work, how to run a machine, a procedure is there. So it's also fixed. It cannot be changed. So one thing can be is flexible in nature, that is budget. Budget obviously is like each department has a budget, like a sales department, production budget, cash budget, other kinds of the various departments of different kinds of purchase budget, production budget, master budget is also there, the summation of all kind of different departments budget. So budget is every year obviously you will not be spending like the same amount, or you will not be having the income of the same level, right? So budget is flexible, so it's not a fixed plan. It changes year after year, right? So answer is budget. Planning is related to A, budgeting, B, forecasting, C, policy formulation, D, all of the above. Planning is related to budgeting, forecasting, policy formulation, all of the above. Answer is all of the above because planning is required. Budgeting, in budgeting also planning will be related to that. Forecasting, obviously, I told you that in planning, one of the part is forecasting as well. Policy formulation also happens in planning only. So it is related to everything. A budget should be based on A, future figures, B, past figures, C, present figures, D, none of these. So budget should be based on future figure, past figure, present figure, none of these. Budget is always based on the past figures. Like last year, we had expenses of suppose 100 crore. So now this year, we will be reducing it, or we may be doing the same 100 crore, or we may increase our expenditure, whatever, based upon our revenues. So budget is based on past figures. Concept of management by objectives has been developed by, so who was the proponent of this concept, that is management by objectives, was given by whom? A, Henry Fayol, B, Peter F Drucker, C, Oliver Sheldon, D, Coons and Ordnell. Henry Fayol, Peter Drucker, Oliver Sheldon, Coons and Ordnell. Answer is Peter F Drucker. So Drucker has given the management by objectives. Forecasting is done on the basis of A, unknown event, B, known event, C, either unknown, known, or D, both known and unknown. So forecasting is done on the basis of known event. Obviously, some events or series, time series data is used. So some elements or some variables should be known. Then only the forecasting can be done. No? Like since last 2 days the rain is coming, so we can forecast that okay. So since last 2 days the rain is coming, so next day also it may be raining. Depending upon the I would say the I would say the conditions of the air and wind, we can decide. So known figure was there, some known event was there. The last 2 days it rained, so tomorrow also it may rain. So forecasting is done on the basis of known event. Which one of the following is not an example of internal premises? A, international environment, B, business policies, C, availability of capital, D, morale of the employees. So, what is not the internal premise? Internal premises: international environment, business policies, availability of capital, morale of the employees. So, business policies, availability of capital, morale of the employee. These are all internal premises. External is what? In international environment. So our answer is A. Planning is A, objective oriented, B, goal oriented. C, both A and B, and D, either A or B. So planning is basically objective oriented. We are achieving some, we are trying to achieve some objective when we are planning it, right? And obviously it's goal driven as well. So goal oriented as well. So answer is both A and B. Which one of the following is an example of tangible premises? A, public relations, B, industrial relations, C, goodwill, D, all of these. So intangible premises, public relations, industrial relations, goodwill, all of these. We can understand that public relations, the reputation outside of the company, right? The company's reputation, like company like ITC, HUL has good reputation. Reliance, RIL, Geo. So these companies have very good reputation. So public relations, yeah, it's intangible asset as well. Brand, industrial relations, yes, with the workers, with other production team, goodwill of the company, everything, right, relates to intangible premises. So answer is D. Which one of the following is not the technique of forecasting? A, time series analysis, Delphi method, survey method, correlation. Which one is not the technique of forecasting? I already discussed about time series, so time series is the part of forecasting. Delphi technique is also used in forecasting. Survey is also done for forecasting. So correlation is not the technique of forecasting. Answer is correlation. Which one of the following is not an example of external premises? Sales forecasting, B, social environment, market for raw material, political environment. So, what is not an example of external premise? Social environment, sales forecasting, market for raw materials, political environment. Social, political, market for raw materials depend upon the supplier, so they are also outsiders. Social environment or society related, political obviously the how the government is taking decisions. So everything is external to the business here, but the sales forecasting is internal. The business will do for itself, right? So A is the correct answer. Controllable premises include R&D, research and development, production, selection of factory location, all of these. Controllable premise to which the to which the business is control. So R&D obviously depend upon the company how much they want to invest and how much they want to take out from that investment, how much research they require. So R&D is controllable, production is controllable, selection of the factory location is also controllable in the hands of the management. So answer is all of these. The last step of planning is A, feedback, B, scheduling, C, selection of best course of action, D, determination of alternative course of action. So last step of planning is obviously feedback. I also require your feedback in the comment section. How did you like my video? And whether it is useful for all, and whether I should continue making videos for you all. And that is why feedback is important for us as well. So last step of planning is what? Feedback. So I have planned out this series for management. So I also require your feedback that how this series is helpful to you all. So expecting good comments and constructive feedback from your end. So this comes to an end of all the 25 questions for today, which we were supposed to discuss. So hopefully the entire session was really, really helpful to all and it was useful to all. So I would like that everyone should understand it, and please give your feedback comments in the in the comment section, and also like the video and share it with among your friends. And hopefully this video is beneficial to all who are viewing it. Thank you for your patient listening, and please do always visit our channel Vision Insights for other topics, for learning, for revising, and for just for just increase your knowledge, right? So hopefully we'll be meeting very, very soon with the next video. So till then, goodbye to all, and please be safe at home. Thank you.